another edition of the Contractor's Secret Weapon weekly podcast with your hosts, Dave Negri. This program is dedicated to helping contractors, remodelers, painters, roofers, roof cleaners, and business owners in the construction industry gain an unfair advantage over the competition. This program supplies you with information that the competition doesn't even know exists. This session brought to you by ContractorsSecretWeapon.com.
Before we get into the conversation with you, I just want to do a shout out to our sponsors who help promote Contractor's Secret Weapon and just some of the things that they have in store for you, our listeners. Hey, is your phone ringing enough? Do you want it to ring more with highly motivated and qualified buyers that contact you, the contractor, directly? No more waiting for the phone to ring. Just answer that phone. Best Home Services leads are dedicated to making your phone ring with motivated buyers that call you directly. There's no obligation to talk with them. Just go to ContractorSecretWeapon.com/money. Fill out the form to secure your discount on the setup fee. Do it today. This special will not last forever. Check them out at ContractorSecretWeapon.com/money.
Running a small business is no easy task, and I should know because I had a service company for almost 10 years. I am the founder of a software called Radius Bomb, and it's unbelievable. And for all the listeners of Contractor's Secret Weapon, we have a special offer for you to check out. If you want to send hyper-targeted, laser-focused, super personalized postcards to your exact prospects using a map while sitting in your underwear, then go to ContractorSecretWeapon.com/Radius Bomb, and we'll give you your first 100 postcards for free. Just go to ContractorSecretWeapon.com/Radius Bomb.
Hey, this is Dave Negri with Contractor's Secret Weapon. We have another episode this week, and I just want to give a shout out to everyone who has been listening to us, and wanted to go back to the beginning for a second for a lot of the new people that have listened. We had a big spike this month and a lot of new listeners, and just really want to tell you a little bit about what we are and what we do. If you haven't listened to the beginning episodes of 1, 2, 3 in the beginning, so we basically started the podcast so that we could help contractors learn more about marketing, how to know the good stuff, how to know the bad stuff, how to make the right decisions, how to answer the right questions. Hopefully we can continue to do that and keep things moving along for you so that you can build your business and continue to be profitable in that. So last week we talked about sales. Do you love it? Do you hate it? I just wanted to do a little bit more on sales for just a second, well, a couple minutes actually. But first, I got to thank our sponsors this week who really make this program available to you. And this week's episode is brought to you by 3D Mail Results and 3dmailresults.com. And of course, they have a very creative, unique 3D mail products, grabbers that will explode your direct mail results. And look into their product section because they have free example sales letters for you, headlines that will help your mail campaign. So if you're tired of cold calling, tired of phone calling, getting little results, why not have those prospects call you by implementing a 3D mail campaign? So check it out at 3dmailresults.com. And of course, the UAMCC, United Association of Mobile Contract Cleaners. They're a nationwide network of contract cleaning contractors that embraces the mobile cleaning industry. So more than just a contract cleaning association, they provide contractors with the tools necessary for growth. And they can assist homeowners and property managers connect with insured, qualified contract cleaning companies. So there's no more guesswork to see who's legitimate and who's not. So go to the uamcc.org to learn how you can be the best in your industry. So let's go back to last week. We talked about you love or you hate sales, and later it got me to thinking about the whole sales process. And yes, it really is a sales process, and I wanted to really start off today with one of the best definitions that I've ever heard on selling. And listen, Selling is getting someone intellectually engaged in a future result that is good for them and getting them to emotionally commit to take action to achieve that result. And that definition is by Dan Sullivan, who's just a genius. So the definition is not, I have something they want, they need, and I'm going to make them buy it. Or please buy my services. So let's go through the definition again. Selling is getting someone intellectually engaged in a future result that is good for them and getting them to emotionally commit to take action to achieve that result. A lot of great words there. So really, what does it look like? What are the steps that you can actually take to make that happen? And I think number one, you really have to listen perceptively. And it's, not like the old days, a salesman pitch, you'd get down, you go over it, you'd role play it, you do the things to make sure that the salesperson was comfortable with the sales process, and it was just like a big old script. One of the biggest challenges was something like that. And I think it's great that you should know your process. You should know what you want to say. You should know what you want to sell. But I think probably more important than anything is that you need to be yourself. You can't go into a sales situation or a presentation to your customer thinking, I can beat the other guy's price. I want to beat his price. And for all those crazy things that are going on in your head, it will drive you nuts in your sales process, and you really need to take ownership of who you are. So you have to be comfortable with who you are. You have to have a self-confidence. To know that you can know what you can provide, the services you can provide, the quality of services that you're going to provide in your presentations to your potential client. I can't really say it over all that it works. I don't have do a lot of commercials, so I can't really talk too much about commercial in this area, especially if they're looking for a bid price. But I know it does start off with relationships. In a little bit of commercial work that I do, it started off with the relationship. And I know what my numbers are. I'm confident in that. I present the price, and if I get it, great. If I don't, I don't. I know what I need to make. I know the profit margins. I need to keep my company sustainable and growing in the marketplace. That's what I mean by knowing partially of who are you. Be confident of the person in your skin. I actually think that once you put yourself in that position of going through the sales process and second guessing yourself, not knowing what you want to charge, or thinking that I know that Bob so-and-so, my competitor, was here, and I know what he charges, so I'm going to be real close or a little bit below so that I can get the business. That is not knowing who you are. That's being wishy-washy. That's not having the confidence in who you are and what you can do, the services you can provide to that customer, because you're just thinking about price. And you know what? Your customer sees that. He sees that weakness in you. He sees your inability to be genuine. He sees your neediness. And there the battle goes on in your presentation. And when you chase after what other people are charging, then what happens is you put yourself back in a situation, or you haven't left the situation of being a commodity. And I've always said that if you live by price, you'll die by price. And you're not going to make it in the marketplace and be an extremely profitable company. So you have to decide, am I going to be profitable, or am I going to beg for work? So in order to have the mindset you need to be who you are, to find out what your identity is so that you can run the course, be positive, be genuine, be confident in your own skin, you have to know your numbers. You really have to know your numbers. So here's what really happens if you've done your marketing correctly. You have educated the consumer correctly through your marketing. Most importantly, your job really is already done. And they've called you because they've done some research, they've looked at your materials, and they want to know if you can provide the value you say you can from your marketing material or your website. So they just really want to meet you. That's why it's so important for you to be genuine and know who you are. I think also storytelling is a great part of the sales process. It actually great relationship builders. And of course, Mr. Rogers used to say it's not hard to like someone once you know their story. So as a salesperson, we must first be able to relate to the customer to help solve the customer's problem. It's not what we have to sell, it's what we have to solve. And I believe that delivering the facts, you build trust. And by educating your client, you will give your clients new ways to think about their problems, which you're there to solve. So I think as we become sales superstars, so I think as sales superstars, we do many things. We attract, we teach, we advise, we serve, we measure. The most importantly, we guide our clients and prospects by developing an individual brand. That's us. We develop our brand. We present it to them. That stands for trust and expertise. So in order for that to happen, for me to close and get the sale, I have to provide the client with the emotional response. Or let's go back to the beginning definition that we talked about before. Selling is getting someone intellectually engaged in a future result that is good for them and getting them to emotionally commit to take action and to achieve that result. So here's just a few simple steps. One, we have to listen, and then we talked a little bit farther back, talked about and be perceptive of what's actually going on and listen to what our customers who really want. They have a problem, and they want their problem solved. That's why we're there. So really, what is perceptive listening? Perceptive listening, I think, is when you hear and interpret the words as they are said, and also consider what the person isn't saying, what they might really be thinking, and how they are acting as they speak. So it requires you to totally focus on what their needs are and what you're trying to sell. So really, you're being involved in that person. You're trying to understand what they're saying and how they're saying it so that you can help them solve the problem that's before them. It'll tell you what the prospect wants. Even when they tell you they're not ready to buy, basically what they're really saying is they don't understand the benefits of what you're offering. It's perceptive listening is how you draw that out of the potential customer. That allows you to understand their goals and objectives. Just like when they say, oh, I think that price is really high. Are they saying that the price is high because the price is high, or do they want you to prove to them that the value that you're delivering equals to the price that they're spending? Well, that's something to think about. So today, in today's world, there's so many teaching opportunities that we have for our clients and our future customers that teaching actually sells them or pre-sells them by giving them useful, expert information. And that's how you create an expert platform, by creating the information they need to make an informed decision. So by creating an expert platform, you're now becoming the authority. We've talked a lot about that. And once you become that authority, you normally have a very, very little amount of competition. See, what you're doing is you're sending a message, and by being the expert, you move away from that price issue, that commodity platform of price, which you always want to stay away from. You don't want to show up at a customer's house, write out a proposal and say, this is the price that you want, and go through it. You want to educate them. You want them to be educated before you leave them. You want to leave behind sales material. Basically, you want to go through the process, write a proposal, and then leave material behind that explains the process that you just went over with them. So you go around the house, you talk with them, you're presenting them, the more informed, the more information you give them, the more experts you are, they're better educated, makes you more professional. The way you talk, explain things to them. You're going to leave them with a material, like I said, that backs up everything that you just presented. And when they go over it, they'll say, oh, I remember he said that. I remember he said that. So, that's pretty much it. But let me just give you a couple examples. Something that just happened to me in a sales situation just the other day. I got a call from, come out and do an estimate to do some work on the potential customer's house. And he told me everything that he wanted done over the phone. And I met him at his house, and we walked around the house. And he explained, we went over everything. I went over everything with him. I explained, what we did, why we did it, how we would do this and how we would do that. And then I asked, as I always do, by the way, how did you find out about us? So his reaction was, which I liked, he says, I found you on the internet. And he said, I checked your website, and as a matter of fact, you were the first person we called, and something happened. We couldn't, as probably when I was in Charleston, I couldn't get out here because you were really busy, but we were impressed with the information that you had on the website. It was very informative, and for us it was easy to make an informed decision on everything we wanted. And then we got 2 other proposals, and we said, I want to give him another call and see if he can come out and actually give us a proposal. So that's what happened. And I went through everything, and I backed up everything I said and information that I left them, and we'll see what happens. That was just the other day. So let me tell you about another example of how I was presented in a sales situation. Not that I sold, but I was presented. And I had a phone meeting with someone that I wanted to buy a particular service, and we had a meeting over the phone. I knew the man, I liked the man, I trusted the man, and we had talked before on different occasions. And I wanted to basically purchase something from him. And so on the conversation, our telephone conversation, he went over all of the stuff and presented what was available and when it was available, and what the benefits were and how he could help me get through the whole process. And we went over the dates of the seminar that I wanted to attend, and he said, listen, this is how I handle my sales situation. And it was handled really cool. All the stuff we went over in the class, and this is going to be a very small class. We're going to have 4 to 5 people, and I know the class will sell out because it always does. And then we'll get, maybe if you can make this one, fine, and if you don't want to do it, that's fine too, because we're not looking to sell a ton of stuff. We're looking for 4 or 5 people that want to do this now. And if you want to do it and the class fills up, then we have another class that's actually coming up in January. I'd be glad to have you come in and join us there. So as I thought about my interaction with that sales process, he did everything. Followed the definition of the T. Remember, selling is getting someone intellectually engaged. He did that. In a future result that is good for me. The result will definitely be good for me. And getting me emotionally committed to take action to achieve that result. Everything that he went through fit that definition to a T. So now it's up to you. So go sell your services at a premium. And until next week, stop by Contractor Secret Weapon, pick up some free stuff. And of course, we do have some business building products in our resources section. So again, be profitable and have an awesome, awesome week.
Again, I want to thank you for joining us and investing your time with us today. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. And if you did, go to iTunes and give us a shout out. You can also go to our website, www.contractorsecretweapon.com, and check out today's episode and leave us a comment in the bottom of the page. And if you haven't gotten your 15 secret weapon strategies to getting higher-end customers, get it while you're at the website. Also, I want to thank again our sponsors for keeping this podcast alive for your profit-making pleasure. And so go be profitable this week. Work smarter, not harder, and learn how to leverage your time and your knowledge so that you can be more profitable. Again, see you next week.
Thanks for joining us for another weekly episode of the Contractor's Secret Weapon podcast with Dave Negri. We would love to hear your comments about this episode, so visit us online at www.contractorsecretweapon.com and let us hear your thoughts. If you are listening via iTunes, please leave us a positive review. The more positive reviews we receive, the more other contractors will benefit from this show. Thank you, and see you next time here on the Contractor's Secret Weapon Podcast.